welcome to Dropkick the Commute for August 1st. What the holy? We're in August already.
What the fucking heck?
What the frick? We don't believe this.
We're in August.
Time has flown.
It's crazy. You know what's also crazy? It's been 3 months since we started this dang thing.
Almost 5 more days, and then it's 3 months.
That's crazy.
We did a little fender bender on Shane McMahon talking to Tony Khan, and immediately after we recorded that, Bully Ray talked to Shane McMahon on the phone on Busted Open After Dark, and he spoke to him, and Shane McMahon said the following: Tony and I were connected through a mutual friend, and we had a great meeting. We talked about many things, but mostly about our shared love for the business and the rewards and challenges of working with family. I congratulated him on the 5-year anniversary of AEW, and I look forward to how he evolves the business moving forward. So, kind of a nothing burger, but also saying a lot there. Talked about many things.
What are the challenges about working with family, Shane? Please do tell.
Yeah, please tell. So, a lot said, but also nothing really said. We're just gonna see with time, man. Something's gonna happen.
I don't think this does anything.
What, the statement?
Like they met in person, dog.
Right.
Like, they took time out of their days. They took time out of their days in their busy schedule. We know Tony Khan's got a busy schedule.
Yeah.
So, like, to meet with Shane McMahon in person isn't just to talk about congratulating him on 5 years of AEW.
Right.
Like, they're clearly talking business, and why else would they talk about the... I mean, sure, maybe Tony Khan is getting some, like, advice from Shane McMahon, but, like, that's something you can do over the phone.
Right. So, there's a lot going there. Something's gonna come out of this, guarantee it. But moving on, let's talk about the weekly shows. We got Raw, Great American Bash Night 1, and Dynamite. I thought Raw was kind of mid this week, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, Raw was not great.
How do you feel about the opening? Like, the opening segment with CM Punk, Drew, and Seth? Because there was I feel like this segment was kind of split, at least on the internet.
I was excited for it, and I sadly was very let down by it.
Yeah.
I kind of felt that way when it was announced that we were going to get the referees, like, instructions or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. The whole premise of that just felt really like nothing was going to happen. It's just like, we know he's a guest referee. We know some bullshit's going to happen. We know that he's going to call it however he sees fit.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, he went out there and he was like, oh, maybe I'm going to do this. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe I'm going to do that. And it's like, well, yeah, you're the special guest ref. That's the point of the match. It's like, it was a segment where nothing happened, and I think I much rather would have just seen, I don't know, something that wasn't 20 minutes long of this.
Yeah. There was a lot of back and forth of, I hate you, no, I hate you, no, I hate you, and then it was like, oh, if either of you put your hands on me or each other, the match is canceled. It's just like okay. Yeah, like, I don't know, it was kind of whack, kind of a weird segment, just lackluster.
I never liked that either, that idea of, like, oh, if you do this, the match is called off. Like, we know the match isn't going to get called off days before it. That's like that's your big ticket buy. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. There's just, like, a lot. This didn't need to be as long as it did, and, you know, if you're going to keep it as long as it was, then you should have actually gave it a little more substance. The only substance we had is, like, Drew McIntyre showing Punk the bracelet that he stole, which I personally think is just it's silly.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, I get it, it's deeper, it's like his family, his dog, and his wife, but I was just kind of like, man, you know, you can just make a new one.
It's true. It's like a friendship bracelet. You can just go to fucking Hobby Lobby.
I just picture CM Punk going home to AJ Lee and just, or no, he's in the hospital. AJ Lee comes visit him and he's just like, stole friendship bracelet. And AJ Lee is just like, honey, it's okay. We can just.
He's like, no, I want that one.
No, I want that one. Drew took it from me. This is just, again, maybe the only level-headed person in this feud is Seth, and that's being generous because they're all just kind of big babies.
Yeah, they are.
Nobody feels like a good guy at this point, although people are very clearly rooting for CM Punk, but it's just like, they all just kind of hate each other.
Right.
And it doesn't do anything for me personally.
Yeah, I laughed a little bit because Michael Cole brought up the Jack Perry picture on Twitter. Mm-hmm. He didn't explicitly say it, but he's like, Drew McIntyre stirring up social media again this week with some things from his past. That's what he said. So,
yeah, that was a good little nod.
But yeah, I agree. They're just all kind of a bunch of big babies, and they're just like, ah.
I think this segment would have lent itself better to like something either shorter, something backstage, do kind of what maybe Nia and Bayley did, but do it better, you know?
Yep.
I don't think this segment had to be 20 minutes long. I really didn't. And like, this is still, for me and probably for a lot of people, the match of the show. It's gonna, like, this is the one that I'm most excited for because CM Punk hasn't wrestled in a singles match yet, in a singles match. So,
yeah.
It's gonna be good. It's just, I don't know. Either like let them get at each other or don't let them near each other at all.
Yeah.
Because having them face down, face to face. By the way, it's so funny how much taller Drew is than Punk.
Yeah, he's fucking massive.
But like having them face to face and not being able to touch each other just isn't realistic because they hate each other so much.
Right.
So, yeah, and again, it was an exciting opening to the show, but it really fell flat. It didn't really feel like people were into this, which is unfortunate. But you know, as goes the saying, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. But you know, we have SummerSlam this weekend, so this feud will, you know, hopefully have a good payoff here. It's been a long build, so. Liv Morgan went unhinged. She destroyed the clubhouse. Everyone was like, oh my god, everything's gone. Carlito's like, where's my PS5? Where's my PS5? She took the PS5.
In all fairness, she bought it.
It's true. It's true. It is hers. Then we got a little vignette later where she, you know, she was like crying. She had like mascara all over her face, and she was burning pictures of Dom, and she's like, you broke my heart, you son of a bitch, and like all this stuff, and it was a great vignette.
This is the content I come here for. This is like Mickey James, Trish Stratus levels of like obsession and insanity.
Yeah.
Like, it is just, it has come to a boiling point. Liv is heartbroken. She's mad. And, yeah, it's all going to come to a head at SummerSlam, and it's gonna be worth it because, Liv, you don't have to be sad for long.
Yeah.
Daddy Dom's coming right in your arms.
He is absolutely going to swing it. He's going to swing it and turn on Rhea and go with Liv. It's got to happen.
It's going to allow for this rivalry to go on a little longer. It's going to allow for Liv to hold on to the title longer. And, like, I don't care what people say. Like, I think this has been a great reign for Liv because it's just given her a lot of credibility as a heel. She's been winning matches. Now, maybe the way she's winning the matches aren't necessarily, you know, how we want to see her winning, but she is a heel after all, and
right.
She's doing great heel work, and I think this is the first time too that she has really been like a full blown heel in a pretty major story like this and Punk and Drew is what people are really caring about, and the Wyatt Sicks.
Yeah.
Segue into the Wyatt Sicks.
Okay, I'm segueing to the Wyatt Sicks.
Ah, yes, he did it.
Oh my god. Yeah, so let's talk about what led up to the Wyatt Sicks coming out.
Yeah.
Chad Gable, or no. Otis and Tozawa had a tag match against the Creed brothers, Chad Gable's new besties, and Chad had Otis in an ankle lock. Maxine jumps on Chad, and then, you know, he lets go of the lock, puts her down. He's like staring at her. Maxine slaps him. Incredible. It was good stuff.
I think this segment, from beginning to end, including like the match, got the biggest crowd reaction.
Of the night.
The entire night.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it did.
Yeah.
But it was, just to compare it to everything else, it was like, damn, nobody really seemed to care. And like,
about the other stuff. Yeah. But anyway, after Maxine slaps him, then the Wyatt Sicks come out and they get up on the apron and they unmask. I loved this. Oh. I loved it.
Well, you knew we weren't going to have them do little solo vignettes for the next fucking 5 weeks.
Yeah.
It was about time we start getting more from them.
Yep.
But we saw Joe Gacy. Well, we saw all of them actually. Never mind. It started with Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, and Rowan.
Yep. And they come out, they go on the apron, they unmask, and then Nikki Cross does a fucking crossbody off the top rope. Uncle Howdy comes out and stares at him. He's laughing, and then Chad fucking sprints out like into the crowd next to the stage. And yeah, I love this segment. I think them unmasking was a really good call. It adds, you know, it keeps it like a little bit grounded. And along with, you know, Chad Gable talking to Adam Pearce, and he's like, oh my god, I know who all the Wyatt Sicks people are. And Adam Pearce is like, yeah, I know. They're employed with the WWE. So, you know, talking about all this stuff, leaving it a little grounded, but also they're just fucking weird people, you know? Like, they're coming out, doing their thing, and them unmasking grounded it a little bit, and I loved it.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, names to faces for the people that didn't know.
Yeah, right.
Dexter Lumis looking fucking... They all look cracked out, dude. It's great. I love it. I love it.
I love it. I like it a lot.
You know what else I love?
The grocery store. We had some more silly Judgment Day drama as well, besides earlier. So, Carlito was back there, and they were talking about all the problems they have, you know, on Raw, like usual, how it always is. And they're talking about it like it's a fucking, you know, massive puzzle that they have to put together. They tell Carlito to take care of Sami Zayn. He's like, okay, yeah, no problem. And he goes, and he's back, and he's like, hey, so I took care of Sami Zayn. Dom, you have a match against him later. And they're like, what? No, you were supposed to take care of him. And he's like, oh, my bad. And they're like, how about you, since you fucked this up, you take on Jey Uso? And he goes, oh, man, yeah, I can do that. Let me go get my baby oil. Which was very funny. Carlito loses his match, and I believe Dom also lost against Sami. Is that correct? Probably.
Yes, and then Braun Breaker, I think, came out.
Right. Yeah, Braun Breaker.
And wrecked his shit. He's gonna win.
Yeah, I really, dude, he's gotta win.
It's just like they're beating a dead horse. Sami Zayn, he promoted last week and was like, I will beat Braun Breaker. And it's like, yeah, dude, you said that last time and you did.
Yeah.
Like, nothing is different now. The only thing that's going to be different is the outcome.
Right.
They would not run a feud like this, basically, like, beat for beat, if it wasn't going to end the same.
Right.
So, and if Sami wins, I'm going to be like, I was bullshit already. I'm going to be
I'm gonna be annoyed if Sami wins this. Like, it's Braun needs to win. The underdog gimmick is
It worked. It worked for Gunther, in my opinion.
They're trying to say, hey, Sammy's not an underdog anymore, and I think you can see that, but you're still booking him like an underdog, whether or not you say it or not. So it's like,
you've lost me on Sammy.
Yeah, you've lost me. You lost me on Sammy a little while ago. I still don't think he should have been in the WrestleMania match. Like,
I think they made a good. They turned what pissed a lot of people off into something really good. So I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that was Chad Gable's match.
Yeah.
To have.
It should have been.
And things. I don't know. I guess I understand the whole collapse of the Alpha Academy.
Yeah.
But you still could have done that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could have done it a little later.
Not much more coming out of Raw. I mean, we had a match with Gunther and Finn. Gunther makes Finn pass out. He goes for it again after the match, and then Damian comes out and saves him. Damage Control returned, attacked Sonya Deville and company. And, going back to the Wyatt Sicks, we're actually getting them in action next week. So.
Oh, really?
Yes, next week on Raw, they're going to have a match.
Did it say against who, or they just?
I believe it's against Chad. It's against Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. Because Chad Gable went to talk to Adam, and he was like, "Hey, I want a match against them," and he was like, "Okay, you're gonna regret that." But sure thing.
That doesn't make sense either, because this whole time he's like afraid of them.
Yeah, but now they unmasked, so the whole thing was like, I know who they are. I want to fight them.
I'm not afraid of them anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like, it's a little goofy. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure we're going to get some supernatural stuff happening, and it'll be fun. Also, we had Sheamus and Big Bronson Reed. Big Bronson Reed. Sheamus did a white noise to Bronson Reed from the second rope, dude.
How do you even just pick that guy up?
Lift that man? It was fucking insane. So that happened, but then Pete Dunne came out, knocked out Sheamus, and Bronson Reed got the dub. So they talked about this on NXT a little bit. Pete Dunne knocked out Sheamus, did a shrug, and walked away. The reason why Pete Dunne is doing this is because Sheamus gave him the nickname Butch, and he didn't like it.
Yeah, what are they doing? Young and bitter?
Yeah. So...
Young ex-bitter or whatever?
Yeah, so he is mad that, he has that nickname, or has that nickname.
I really can't blame him for that. I was mad too.
Yeah.
I was like, you called him what? Butch?
Yeah, Butch.
Last time I heard someone with the name Butch was in like the fucking Pokemon anime back in the 2000s. But Butch and Cassidy, Team Rocket, dude. Anyways, fuck. Like, it pissed me off so much. I never wanted the Brawling Brutes, if I'm being... if I'm keeping it $150 with you, brother.
Yeah.
But, you know what? Let him do these little things and just kind of be like...
Yeah, I honestly like it. Like, he goes to Raw, he goes to NXT, does something crazy, and then just shrugs, and he's like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah. I'm doing what I want. So, that was fun there. But, yeah, kind of lackluster episode of Raw, nothing crazy. But you know what was good, Galeer?
NXTNA.
NXTNA. The Great American Bash Night 1. Only on Sci-Fi. Alba Dawn and I keep saying Alba Dawn. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Say that 3 times fast.
Alba Fire, Isla Dawn. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn.
It just sounds stupid.
They opened with this match for the women's tag titles, and they opened with a cheap shot. They kind of, took them down, and I thought the match was kind of meh. I don't know. It was good, but one of the things Vic Joseph said was the champions said that they feel overlooked. Yeah, because they're booked shit, bro.
They sure are overlooked.
Yeah, they're overlooked. They haven't done anything.
Vic Joseph, Vic Joseph might be onto something here.
I think so. He's got a big brain in that head.
Just have him drop the titles back to Bianca and Jade.
Honestly,
Come
they had their moment.
I honestly think they're probably gonna end up doing that.
Can they be redeemed?
Bianca and Jade?
No. Do you think at this point, Alba and Isla could be redeemed at all? And
as champions, I don't think they ever really I don't really think they came in with anything to this title run. They just kind of got stuck into it.
Yeah, that's how I felt in the match too. And yeah, I mean, they got their moment in Scotland. It was nice and all, but yeah, I agree.
Well, here's the thing too. Alba Fire had great singles title runs in NXT UK before she even got the name Alba Fire. Isla Dawn just kind of, for the most part, came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And now it's whoa, and we're slapping the belts on them. Okay.
Yeah.
It just felt, I don't know, felt very random.
Feels random, and yeah, I think they should drop, because they have a match against Jade and Bianca on Friday. I think they should drop them.
I think they drop them on Friday. Oh, I didn't even know they had one.
Yep.
I thought maybe it would be some kind of pre-show SummerSlam match.
It's on SmackDown.
All right.
So that'll be interesting. We'll see what happens there. Oro Mensah pinned Ethan again, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Yep.
This was such a good bit, and I'm so glad they're doing this. We're getting their match next week on NXT. Great American Bash Night 2. They're the main event. Hopefully it's good. I mean, I've liked this little bit from Oro Mensah, and I still don't really feel great about Ethan Page as champion, but at least they're doing something somewhat entertaining with it.
Yeah, I would say if you want to keep the entertaining thing going, have him have a good match, and then have Ethan Page clap back and win with a roll up of his own.
Yeah,
I know I hate roll ups, but just kind of be I can do one.
Have him steal it in a heelish way, and I think
or have him fucking squash.
But I like this. There's actually a bit of a character and substance here, and it's working. For the most part,
I still don't feel incredible. Did we see Trick this episode?
He was in segments, I believe, but I don't think he came out at all.
Yeah, I just really miss him.
Yeah, I just really miss him. He'll get it back eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely still not sold on Ethan Page, but
yeah,
that was a good match. I'm very sold, however, on Joe Hendry in NXT.
Dude, number one, we got a Joe Hendry concert, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. It was so good. He's shitting on Gallus the whole time. He went to go do a little encore, but then Gallus stopped him and said, "No, we hate your song." And then they beat the shit out of him.
You're just another flash in the pan.
What was the song? Something about their accent. They're from Scotland, but their accent's bad or some shit.
Facial hair.
Oh yeah, bad facial hair.
Joe Coffey's facial hair.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great stuff. And then Joe Hendry had an absolutely great promo towards the end of the show, calling out Joe Coffey. He's like, "Joe Coffey, I'm gonna show NXT that I am here to hang. I can hang with the best, and you're going down, bozo."
It's true. We got two Joes from Scotland smacking beef.
Hell yeah. Did you also see the stuff that Joe Hendry said today?
I did not.
TNA and NXT have have collaborated, once again a little bit here, and they are allowing Joe Hendry to train at the Performance Center. So that is massive, and he is allowed to appear on NXT and TNA, constantly. There's not anything holding him back. other than, you know, the stories, but they are free to book him on both shows whenever, wherever.
Thank God.
So that is really exciting. Joe Hendry's eventually going to go to WWE. As soon as his TNA contract is up, he's going there, dude.
I still stand by it. I think WWE is just going to outright buy TNA.
You think so?
It's great. I mean, like, again, not for a very long time, but
Yeah.
I think this is like a preview of like what's to come, because I think too now with like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, you know, obviously Triple H has a great eye for like storytelling, and so does Shawn Michaels, and then they both have their own sort of style. But I think part of that too is like we are learning more and more each day that they watch everything. Like they're keeping their eye out. They watch fucking, you know, they kept their eye on Vactor.
Yep.
They picked up Julia. They're looking at TNA. They know Joe Hendry's a fucking sensation. It's like very, very clear that they watch.
Would that be good for the business as a whole, though? Because, like, this is a collaboration and, you know, a team effort. If they buy TNA, I feel like it wouldn't be received well.
It wouldn't. That's a problem. You know, I'm just saying the only people, I still think the only people that benefit from this partnership are WWE and maybe a little bit of TNA, and then the talent from TNA.
Yeah, the talent are the ones that are benefiting the most. TNA
not
itself,
necessarily TNA. They're almost just kind of like also there's TNA, and this is where they go
right.
sometimes. So, and that's the reason why I think this could all end with WWE purchasing TNA, because it mostly benefits them. But then imagine if all of TNA could benefit from a deal with WWE, you know?
Yeah.
But also, the landscape would shift, like, dramatically.
It would change massively.
You also got to think about all the wrestlers that are in TNA, right?
Yeah.
So...
yeah, the only way I could see WWE buying TNA be beneficial is if they buy them, own them, but then let them operate exactly how they are, but promote them a lot and put them on Peacock and put them, you know, host their pay-per-views and stuff like that. I run it like an NXT, where if they buy TNA and do like what they did with ECW, for example, it would fucking tank and TNA wouldn't exist in, you know, 5-10 years. If they bought TNA and then used it as like an NXT, then it could work.
Yeah,
keep that small vibe, keep that indie vibe, have the massive pay-per-views. You know, because it would push their pay-per-views to be huge, you know? Like, it would allow for so much WWE talent to show up at a TNA pay-per-view. It would allow TNA to host bigger venues that they might not be able to host now because they couldn't sell the tickets, and promote them across all your shows and brands and stuff. That then, yeah, give them a TV deal. Then they would benefit massively if WWE was to buy them. But I think the collaboration is good right now, obviously, like, and yeah, it's benefiting talent the most, not TNA as a whole, but it's benefiting the TNA talent the most.
Yeah, I'd say that, but it's tough if WWE buys TNA. We might have a lot of wrestlers that could get released because
exactly,
a lot wouldn't get used, a lot would get shoved under the rug. But anyways, you know, TNA tangent.
Yeah. Continuing with TNA though, we got a Rascals Treehouse on NXT.
Dude, we didn't think it was gonna happen.
We did not think it was gonna happen. Wesley's like, here on a Tuesday? What the fuck? And they're like, yeah, man. Rascals can show up anywhere, brother. So it was really good. They were talking about the tag match with MSK, and they were talking about, you know, just the Rascals in general, how they're back on the rise and all this stuff. And it was a fun little segment. Cool to see on NXT. Main event was very good, I thought.
Yeah.
That was the tag match, right?
Or
was that Roxanne?
Roxanne.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Roxanne. Yeah, the main event was good for this match. Thea Hale, I have rarely seen Thea Hale wrestle, so this was fun.
She doesn't really wrestle.
Yeah.
That much.
She's great. She's great in the ring. We had a lot of good spots here, and I completely forgot to write down notes on the tag match because that was my favorite match, probably.
Yeah, that was good, and that's like the next. I mean, they've been the next generation of like women superstars.
Yeah, NXT. It's got to be at least my favorite women's division in wrestling. I'm gonna say they're fire. Ever since I started watching NXT, like every women wrestler in NXT, I've been like astounded by. You know, like they're all super athletic. They're all like pretty good characters. Even Kalani Jordan, like, you know, I've never heard of her before I started watching, and her being the North American Women's Champion, like she holds up. She's a good champion. We saw it from the Heatwave match, and like, you know, they're great.
Yeah, they're all fantastic, and again, college level athletes.
Yeah,
just NXT knows how to pick them. Those talent scouts aren't fucking messing around. They're putting out the big bucks.
Yeah,
for these youngins.
It's true, and it shows. It's crazy, but yeah, main event with Roxanne and Thea Hale again. Fire match. I thought it was really good. I'm excited for Great American Bash Night 2. I think it's going to be just as good, and hell yeah, good stuff.
Hell yeah, brother.
Also, I want to give a shout out to YouTube TV because if you have the show saved to your library, it automatically records the other channel that it's on. It's absolutely fire. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to find it on Sci-Fi? No, brother. Just click on the show. Boom, it's there. It was sick.
They're looking out. They're looking out for us.
They know. Let's hop over to Dynamite. I enjoyed Dynamite. Good episode. Nothing crazy. Nothing like, whoa, but it was a solid episode. Good, solid episode. We started off with MJF coming out, calling Will Ospreay a redcoat terrorist.
It's true.
He is. He's one of them redcoats.
This whole... I don't know. This whole America thing, I think it's fallen flat on me already.
No, I agree. I don't think it's going to last very long.
I know. I just don't think it's really doing anything for MJF to...
He's an American hero, though.
Well, like, he already did that in 2020. He did, like, a whole campaign to win the world title.
Oh, did he?
And it wasn't necessarily, like, American-centered, but, like... He had like a whole campaign. Almost kind of like reminds me a little bit of Mustafa Ali.
Oh yeah, like with the presidential campaign and stuff.
Yeah, and he has like team members and shit like that. It was cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's not really doing a whole lot for me. People are calling it the American Championship. Will Ospreay came out and cut a really good promo.
Yeah,
and then he had his match with Lance Archer, which was really good.
Yep.
Took out Lance Archer, and then did MJF come out and attack him?
No. Yeah, so MJF came out, attacked Will Ospreay, and then Kyle Fletcher came out.
And then Kyle Fletcher came out, cut an insanely good promo.
Yep.
Kyle Fletcher, we don't see much of and never really hear from. Challenges MJF to a match next week. You know he's going to get his brain busted.
Yeah, he's going to get absolutely fucked. But yeah, his promo, he was like, I'm sick of your bullshit. Everyone is sick of your bullshit. Like, you're just doing the same shit you always do. Get out of here. You're a bozo. Fight me next week.
But then like the crowd kept chanting USA, and I was like,
Yeah.
what do we want? What do we want here?
Yeah, it was a little wacky. Did you see Novi's tweet?
Which one?
So shout out to Novi. We had him on the podcast. He was at the show last night in Greenville, South Carolina, and he tweeted, "For the record, I did not chant USA, not once," which I thought was very silly. So Novi, go follow Novi if you're not already.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not with it, but
Yeah.
I would have been with just MJF wins the title and doesn't do an American gimmick.
Yeah. It's gonna make Ospreay. I think they're thinking it's gonna make Ospreay feel bigger at All In when he wins. If Ospreay doesn't win at All In, I don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore, dude.
Yeah.
So
We don't have to talk about that though.
yeah, who knows? Hire Shane McMahon and then he can be your booker. There you go. Yeah, Kyle Fletcher saved them, all that stuff. He's having a match next week. Then we had Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale.
Good match.
Very good match. Stokely comes up on the apron, gives Statlander a chain. She hides it behind her. He goes to undo the turnbuckle to distract the ref, and Statlander hits Willow with the chain, wins the match, and then attacks Willow with a chair afterwards, starts beating the shit out of her. Security comes out to stop Statlander, and she's like, okay, puts down the chair, and then beats the shit out of security. But Stokely holds her back, and he's like, no, bro, like, don't go too crazy. This is gonna get fucked up for you.
Stokely holds her back, but then he gets this like evil, maniacal look on his face, like, damn, I really do have like the best wrestler under my wing right now. This is great.
Yeah,
like,
so it's really good stuff. So she is now the #1 contender for the CMLL Women's Championship. I know how you feel about other titles being, in other companies being defended, but
it sounds like Stat's gonna win.
Yeah, is that gonna be an all-in match, or is that gonna be before?
I don't know. I feel like for a CMLL Women's Championship, I feel like it's too far out to really make that feud matter that much.
Yeah.
I think they could have it happen very soon, though, like in the next few weeks, and then... I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's August now, so... I don't know. But I think Chris Statlander, the way they're pushing her, she needs to hold the championship.
Yeah.
What better way to like make it mean something than to have it in a feud with Willow?
Yeah, I agree. Willow's great, Statlander's great, and Statlander is on the rise again. She's looking strong, and yeah, it's fire stuff. We had Bryan Danielson come out, do a little promo, talk about life, talk about how this is his last year of wrestling, talking about his contract is up tomorrow. And,
which is today.
Yeah, which is today. He said that he promised to kick people's heads in, and he promised to win the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland comes out, and he's like, hey man, I'm gonna kick your head in. You're garbage. You're not gonna win. And he's like, you know what, man? I'm gonna give it my all, and I promise that if I don't win the AEW World Championship at All In, I will never wrestle again. So
now we're having
a career versus title match at All In. Now, I know what you're gonna say. You've been thinking that Danielson is gonna win. But what if?
You think this is his out?
What if this is his out? It's at AEW's biggest show. He loves AEW. He enjoys being there. It's his last year. They made this happen. I'm not saying it's going to be on Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair level. I'm not saying it's going to be on Undertaker, Shawn Michaels level. But it made the match feel bigger for me. At least.
Yeah.
For me.
I do think so. And, well, it solidified either one of two things, is that he is gonna win and hold the title and then go to wrestling part-time, or this is quite literally gonna be his last wrestling match, because the guy is beat up.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that Danielson has said he doesn't want a title. He doesn't care about it. He said about it in his promos, obviously, but we know that what he's there for is to have like these good matches, good runs before he retires. And this is a good send-off. If they do this, this is a good send-off for Danielson.
Oh, yeah, he could win the match and have a grand celebration, but he could also lose the match and have a grand celebration.
Right.
You know, you get, I don't know, 2 dudes from Washington too, which is cool. And I don't know, I heard some people talking about like him winning it and then assuming Wrestle Dream this year is in Washington again, he loses it at Wrestle Dream and then that's a send-off. But I feel like with this stipulation, it's like, whoa, this might be it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, because it made it feel big. It gave it substance. You know, we were annoyed at the lack of substance and how, you know, it should be Hangman and Swerve. It should be those two. But if we're not getting Hangman and Swerve, then this made the match feel big.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's a situation where I really don't know what's gonna happen, and I love it because they've been blurring the lines on like how beat up Danielson is.
Right.
For all we know, like we know he's had his history of issues, and like he probably shouldn't be wrestling again, but he is.
Yeah.
So, but again, that line is blurred with the way he sells and the way he's been looking in matches lately. Is just we don't entirely know, and so that adds an extra layer of like intrigue to this match.
Right.
But it's one that I'm very excited for, and I have no doubt. The last time these two faced off, I think, was like last year, and it was great. And I think this one will be even better because now Swerve's like on a whole different level. Yeah.
And it's gonna be fire, I think. And then Danielson, after all this bit, so last week Jeff Jarrett was like, he had some words for Danielson. He's like, you know, if you're not gonna give it your all, then don't bother, and all this stuff. Danielson walks backstage and he goes to talk to Jeff, and Jeff is like, yo, that was great, man. He hits Jeff's hat out of his hand and he goes, next week, you and me. Like, he's all pissed off. Yeah. So it makes you think, like, did he actually want to do his career? Did he actually like want to make this the end? Do you think he's gonna give it his all? And so he's gonna face Jeff Jarrett next week. I don't know.
Well, you know he's gonna give it his all,
right.
And you know his foot is gonna give his all when he kicks Jeff Jarrett's fucking head in and kills him. Like, my God.
Yeah.
It's we are gonna see Danielson in the way we've always seen him in AEW, and that's just like insane, like primal levels of just aggression.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good, dude.
Yeah. Speaking of primal levels of aggression, Hangman and Darby, dude.
What a match.
Fire. Absolutely fire. Hangman's gonna go unhinged because Darby won with a surprise roll-up. I was not mad about the surprise roll-up. Hangman was beating the shit out of him, almost had him. Darby reversed it, did a little stunner, rolled him up, and won the match. Hangman's pissed. He's gonna go unhinged. He's gonna fucking take some people out in the coming weeks. And we're gonna see Hangman go crazy.
Yeah, I don't know who's next on his list.
You're next.
Okay. Well, he's not Goldberg.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, pal. It's not. We're not letting that happen.
Goldberg.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Good episode though.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say we had a really good spot where they went up to the ramp, and he did one of those crazy like default WWE 2K24 finishers outside of the ring, the stunner, where you like flip over and do the stunner. Then he climbed the tunnel and did a coffin drop off the tunnel, and I was like, yes! I lost my shit,
Prime
dude.
Darby.
Yeah.
Vintage Darby.
Really, really good stuff. Good episode of Dynamite. Tonight we have the marriage of PCO on TNA Impact.
It's true.
And that'll be silly.
It should be me.
It should
That's all
be
I'm
me.
gonna say.
You want to marry PCO?
No, I want to marry Steph DeLander.
Oh, okay. I would marry PCO.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I would marry PCO. What am I kidding?
He's your digital media champion, so.
That's right. And your Canada and World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah, so TNA Impact tonight. SmackDown tomorrow, which hopefully is good. SmackDown last week was meh. And Raw this week was meh. But hopefully SmackDown is good. But that doesn't matter because we have SummerSlam on Saturday, and that's the big one.
Yeah. My expectations are low for SmackDown. Expectations are pretty up there for SummerSlam. So,
yeah.
It'll be a good weekend.
SummerSlam is going to be a great show. I'm excited. And you should go inside and rest up.
EP.
EP boy. Mm.
And you're coming next week.
No, I'm not. Oh, next week, yes, I am.
Yeah. And you're coming to the SummerSlam party.
I'm not coming to the SummerSlam party. Don't get your hopes up.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Fucking clown. I am coming next week, though. Bill Murray, in-person episode. It's going to be fire. Woo-hoo. Woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Ding! If you want to give us money, Ko-Fi link in the description. Keep liking on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Twitter, all that stuff. Share us with your friends. It's the best way to support us. Thank you for joining me, Galeer.
It's been real, as always, and we're gonna drop kick the rest of the day with an early bedtime.
Hell yeah, brother.
Let's fucking get it.
Beep,
Smash that subscribe button. Oh.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Beep, beep.
Dropkick the commute, shining bright in the night. Join the conversation, be part of the crew. For all things wrestling, they bring it to you.